Neena.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, everybody, for your presentations. I was really impressed that you managed to avoid the B word, as Burkhard mentioned. I think despite all of that, I think the Commission's note is timely, given that there are a number of inconsistencies in how equivalence is being implemented today. And I think out of this deliberations today, I'm sure there will be some kind of new reform. I can't imagine we're going to continue on the basis we are. But I think it's important that whatever reform we have is fair and it's workable. And in one sense, we need to avoid kind of super equivalence requirements. And what I mean by that is sort of imposing something on third country institutions that we haven't fully implemented across all the 27 or 28 EU members. So my question is, how do we ensure we get the right balance that, there's always a charge when I travel outside of Europe. People say it's Fortress Europe. So how do you avoid that particular charge to make sure that there is that right balance? And with any equivalence, it's not a pure technical decision. It's often very political. How will the Commission and the ESAs ensure that equivalence doesn't become a political football? And thirdly, to Mr. Gerson, the Commission's note, you say you make suggestions that you need more on-site inspections and effective access to data in third countries, and I think that is right. However, on-site inspections can be very resource-intensive and subjective. And how are you going to manage that resource side? I know other colleagues have already raised it, and in particular, kind of in context of UK, when you look at there are 300,000 products from the UK that come into the EU from 5,800 organisations. I mean, this is a real challenge to try and address as to how that's going to be managed. And I would say that really, given that UK will be equivalent at the point of departure, maybe you need to think of some other mechanisms. And finally, on CCP supervision, I do appreciate what ESMA and others want to have more information about the risks and the institution exposed to. But there are strong arguments that it will lead to real disruption for the EU economy. And I think, wouldn't it be better to go for better enhanced cooperation between supervisors? What do you think about that? Thanks.